First and Liberty agribusiness. I think we've been asked by, go ahead, Councilor, not to exceed the 5 minutes, that we're getting more and more people wishing to speak and longer and longer time. So when you gives you the notice, 5 minutes.
Okay. In addition to being a pilot in 1966, my father created the first traveling irrigation system of its kind to help secure farmlands in Illinois during times of drought from his company, KIPCO, Cruz Irrigation and Fertilizer Company. After he retired in 2001, his company has continued to prosper, focusing on sports fields, graveyards, horse farms, and small-time agribusiness such as strawberry farms and smaller orchards, which brings me to what I want to discuss today. Recently, our state ag commissioner spoke to the Paulding County Chamber of Commerce and was quoted in the neighbor newspaper as saying the following: "Many residents likely choose to remain or move to Paulding because of its rural heritage." According to the neighbor, Gary Black also said during his address to the Paulding Chamber of Commerce that agriculture can play a role in the county's future development, even if the mostly suburban area is seeking other ways to develop its economy in coming decades. I find it interesting that someone as in the know as the state agriculture commissioner would encourage agriculture here in Paulding County. He was also quoted as saying, "You, as a chamber and county leadership, can play an important role in keeping agriculture as part of a mainstream strategy for economic development in your community." He said, "I don't know how to do that in your community, but with the leadership in this room, you can do it." I believe he's encouraging our leadership to look progressively at alternative ways for bringing in an income, and this way happens to be quite profitable and much less controversial than, say, a commercial airport. Many large metropolitan areas are now looking into supporting agricultural communities to support their food needs due to the large population demanding organic and naturally grown fruits, vegetables, and livestock. After all, our food has to come from somewhere, and most people feel most comfortable with knowing their food came from right next door rather than a foreign country such as China. What better way to provide an income for Paulding than to be able to provide the needs of eateries in Atlanta? Folks pay big bucks for the organic label and locally grown at that. Another quote from the Paulding neighbor, Black said he often reminds residents of formerly rural areas like Paulding that agriculture is not something we do simply because we can't do anything else. The state is geographically positioned to have a thriving farming industry because of such benefits as 265 days without frost annually and an underground aquifer system which continuously is refilled and used to water crops, he said. So what thoughts would I have on encouraging farmers and farms to come here? Put land back to agricultural use. Offer incentives such as exemptions and tax breaks to farmers willing to produce enough to sell in the local and not so local economy. In the short run, that may pull off our tax base, but ultimately it's a wonderful opportunity to provide an income to the citizens and the county as a whole. We have to eat and might as well support the locals. A quick Google search for agritourism in Georgia produced many, many hits. You can find everything from U-Pick farms to farm shares to working agricultural-based businesses providing thousands of school children the opportunity to learn about the history of farming in Georgia and the future of agriculture in the state. It's big business and well worth the time to research how we could profit from this farming stuff right here in the backyard. One great thing I've seen recently is watching the Great Pet Chicken movement to help encourage local families to have their own chickens that produce fresh, healthy eggs. Where on earth do people think eggs come from, and how can they possibly think that commercial chicken houses are the healthiest way to get eggs? Another Google search will help you see how those work. I've also noted the relocation of one of the farmers markets to Paulding County High, which is another great partnership at work. What about putting some unused properties into community gardens? What if you could offer some sort of incentives to people to put a certain percentage of property into agricultural use? Maybe a local farmer coalition, or maybe a like-minded group of citizens could provide plans for Paulding to be a clean, proud hometown place to live and work. Thinking progressively into what other successful counties have come up with that does not include heavy industry, commercial flights, and water pollution may just be the ticket to a happy community. I want to be proud of my community and of my county, proud of how forward-thinking the elected officials are. Let's move forward, not backward, boys. Special thanks to the Paulding neighbor for producing a high-quality, quotable article, and thanks for your time today.